What's good, everybody? Mr. J here, and the video you're about to watch is a maintenance video. For those of you who've been following the channel, you'll know that last week I did the how-to on rotors and brake pads, and at the very end of the video, if you watched all the way through, there was a small complication that I said would be continued. Well, in today's video, we'll be dealing with that complication, and long story short, my brake calipers were seized up. Now, I should have known this when it was so difficult in that video to get the pistons to fully close. That was hint number one. But in the moment, I figured if I could get it on the car and I can get inside the car and pump the brakes and, you know, get a good motion going, that it would loosen up those calipers. Not the case. Not the case. As I was driving to work the very next day, as soon as I hit 40 miles an hour, I live in a pretty residential area around here, so about 15-20 minutes into my drive to work is like the first time when I really get to open it up and, you know, hit 40 miles an hour and above. But consistently, as soon as I hit 40 miles an hour, just steering wheel shakes, and that's because the calipers were closed. Basically, they were pressing on the brakes, essentially on one side. The brakes were applied and they wouldn't unapply. So as soon as you get up to higher speeds, you know, the wheel's trying to force itself to move, it was all bad. It was all bad. But ordered a brand new caliper and got the install going for you guys. Coming up, let's What's good, everybody? Mr. J here, and tonight is maintenance night. That's right, tonight is maintenance night. You know, just because that sun goes down doesn't mean that the grind stops. You know what I'm saying? It is currently 11:30. Just got back from work, and it's time to go back to work. What I got on deck today is the installation of the brake calipers. And really what's going on is I've been driving my wife's car for too long, and by too long I mean 2 days. I know not that extreme amount of a time, but it's like, you know, it's just a testament to how much I love, you know, Gotham Hemi. When you love something, you know, you never want to depart from it. So, you know, if you don't miss it after one time of not being in it, then you don't love it. I really love Gotham Hemi, and she's been on ice for far too long. So brake calipers came in this morning. Obviously I had to go to work, so brought them in, figured that I would be doing this install tonight. So open up this box, get it back on the car, get the car ready to go. Got the package right here. Do a quick unboxing and start throwing this thing on there. I didn't go with any kind of upgrade or anything just because this was like, you know, a spur of the moment type thing. Just went with the genuine Mopar parts caliper, and I got a knife around here somewhere. Inside of the box we have look at that, another box. What a surprise. All right, there we go. One brand new genuine Mopar caliper, and there we go. That's what the brand new pistons should look like. And as you guys probably already know, and for reference for those who don't know, the reason why we have to replace this part is because my existing pistons are seized up on the front passenger brake. A little bit of a surprise, because I really didn't feel like my brakes were squeaking for that long. You know, it was never my intent to, you know, ignore the brakes for, you know, the few weeks that I did. But you know, it is what it is. Life goes on. So I'm just speculative that, you know, the brakes weren't squeaking. The brakes didn't squeak until, you know, it was completely bad, really bad. But you know, got the new part here, so time to get this tire off. I gotta work in my tiny ass garage today. You know, with the brake install video, you guys saw me outside and I was preaching to make sure that you have enough room, but like I said, it is 11:30 at night. Definitely not going to have any kind of lighting for that. So this is the workspace that I have to work with right now. I'm talking like 3 feet. Gotham Hemi on the driver's side is almost all the way up against the wall. I had to crawl out of the passenger door to get out. But this should be a sufficient amount of room. I mean, it's gonna be somewhat of a pain, but you know, it's gonna be manageable at least. So yeah, man, let's get this tire off and let's get the new piston reinstalled. Also going to have to bleed the brakes, because taking the brake line off, obviously, you know, some air is going to get into that brake line with that. So gonna have to bleed the brakes as well. I'll show you guys how to do that. Let's get it. Given the nature of the time restriction that I was under trying to get this caliper installed, you know, after work one day, before work the next, there's going to be a heavy time lapse here. It's not going to be a detailed how-to on how to remove the caliper. If you want a better idea of how to get the caliper off, go ahead and check out my brakes video that I did last week. Link will be in the description below. So, bit of good news here. Before you inspect the pads, they don't have any uneven wear. So, good sign number one. Another thing I'm gonna want to check for is to check the actual rotor, see if there's any warping from all of the friction. So here we go. Caliper is installed. Blake Griffin's brakes have been bled. Time to take it around the neighborhood. See what we're dealing with here. So far they feel good. Not going all the way to the ground. Not using excessive stopping force. Actually, a very short depression. Nice. But the real test is we gotta get this thing up to 30 miles an hour faster again, because last time did not realize the issue until, well, didn't fully realize the issue until getting up to 30 miles an hour. Definitely have to do a brake fluid flush. That brake fluid looked pretty damn bad. So here we go. All right. We are back. We're back. It's always that moment of truth where you tested to see if the issue is what you thought it was. We just got up to 60 miles an hour, no speed wobbles. Let's give her some brakes. Yep. We are back in business. It's been 2 days too long not driving Gotham Hemi, but we back. We back. And I say 2 days, it's been 2 work days, but it's also been 2 weekend days, so it's really been like 4 days, almost an entire work week without driving Gotham Hemi. And all right, there's some sudden braking. Woohoo! Yes, sir. We back in this thing. We back in this thing. And you know what? It's a nice, beautiful day. You know what? I'm gonna go home, get the drone, come back, just so that I get, you know, even more driving footage. And yeah, we're gonna record some drone footage, get started on some of this new content for y'all. I'm feeling good. Today's a good day. Definitely do want to go get my fluids flushed though. You know, I would probably think about doing the brakes myself, but transmission fluid flush has been something that I've been wanting to do for a little while anyway. So I think I'm just gonna take it in, get all of the fluids redone in the car, because I certainly don't like the way that brake fluid came out looking. You know, it's toast. So my speculation is think that it had the 80,000 mile service. You know, I would be suspicious if it got the 50,000. I guess I can look it up. I'll have to look up and see if it got it. But yeah, that fluid was toast. Brake pads were toast. And rotors were toast. Everything is toast. So but we back up, we running, we back up in this thing. Now I apologize that, you know, this wasn't really a how-to video, but dealing with the time constraints that I was under, you know, getting home at 11:30 at night, that gave me a 2.5 hour window to do the job in terms of, you know, being where I wanted to be today. You know, I definitely wanted to be done when I went to sleep. I didn't want to wake up and, you know, try to rush my morning trying to get to a certain point so that I could get on the road. So I put the camera aside. I just filmed at one angle for most of it. I didn't really get too detailed just because it would have, you know, consumed a lot of time doing that. You know, hopefully this gave you some insight to, you know, what's possibly wrong with your vehicle. That one's gonna wrap this one up. I'm Mr. J. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram
Gotham_Hemi. That's where you get to see all the mods at in real time. Remember, I shoot in advance. So every mod that you see get done on the car has been done for about 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes even longer. When I first launched the channel, I launched the channel 4 months after I shot my first video. So Gotham_Hemi is where you get to see all the mods at real time. Comment, like, subscribe, all that. Appreciate every single one of you, and I will catch you guys in the next one. And ladies, International Ladies Day. Happy International Ladies to all of you beautiful ladies out there, especially my beautiful wife. All right, Mr. J, Gotham Hemi, and we out.